right, so how do I know when they're live?
You're live now.
We're live. Oh, great. Well, hello. Hello. That's a brilliant way to introduce everyone. Yes, hello. There they are. Excellent. Hi, everyone. I am Celine Calante Love of the Celine and Friends Woodling system. I'm the current, as of this recording, second place family dog speedrun world record holder. Our lovely co-host here, SeireaSong, is the first place. And yeah, tell us a little about this game, Say. Hello, so good to be here. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Seirea, and though it may look like I'm in pain, no, trust me, I'm very pleased to be here. It's amazing to be here and showcase this game in its first ever marathon showcase. I'll give you a bit of context about the game before we get into it. It's based on an animated sitcom that ran for 10 episodes in 1993. It had a lot of star power going into it. Brad Bird, Steven Spielberg, Tim Burton. Heard of any of them? They all were really trying hard to get this to succeed, and it failed immediately. It was just too cynical, just constant misfortunes befalling the cute, cuddly family dog Jonah, and people just didn't vibe with it. But it still spawned a video game adaptation for the Super Nintendo because they put so much into this IP, and that was part of it. And if this game has any reputation, it's probably as a bad game, but it still had an awesome impact on the lives of Celine and friends. And it's really awesome to be able to be here and show it off with you.
Yeah, so I want you all to just imagine how cynical a show has to be too cynical for audiences to appreciate in 1993. This was like when Beavis and Butthead ruled America, okay? Like, to be too dark for that era, like, the show was pretty much irredeemable, but I never knew that. I never actually saw the show. I just knew the game was something we had in our little local rental place, and I just kept renting it because, like, look at that sprite there. You see that little smiling dog there? It's adorable. It's a cute puppy. So I thought it was this cute, wholesome thing just because I didn't know any better. And we'll get into this more after the run, but we actually, believe it or not, ended up making it one. We kind of pulled wholesomeness from the jaws of cynicism when it comes to the family dog IP. Now I'm leaving it in this kind of emulation screen right here, because once we switch to the game, it doesn't have much in the way of a title screen or anything. It's just like, once we're going, we're going. So it's like Fast and Furious. So are we ready? Should we get to it?
Ready if you are, and remember, we met the donation incentive, so you can go ahead and actually collect the ball.
Yay, okay, yes. All right, then let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, sounds good. You want me to count you in?
I'm going now, aren't I?
Oh, there we go. I just got a little bit of delay. Here we go, and
that is
go!
Some significant
you have
delay,
entered hell.
okay.
This is not your standard family house, my friends. This isn't even the back rooms. This is worse than the back rooms. Every single room in this entire building is about 6 miles long, and it's filled from head to toe with inanimate and animate objects alike that all want to kill this poor dog. And we have collected that tennis ball, which is going to give us a mini game, which she would normally be avoiding so that she can complete the game quickly. But we're going to get to that soon. For now, she's jumping over obstacles in the second room. She has memorized the layout. They are strewn about in a kind of random order. Sometimes you have to jump immediately. Sometimes you have to run a little bit. And now, once we get to the end of this room, we are going to be starting the donation incentive. It's time to play fetch. This is one of the only nice things that can happen to Jonah, and she's going to start out trying to inch her way to the right before the son, Billy, throws the ball, because it's getting increasingly more unfair with every throw, and it's barely possible once you get to the final throw, but you can kind of cheat the game like she's doing perfectly here and just immediately start out ahead of the ball. I think there's one more throw here. That's so perfect. That's actually exceedingly difficult, and she nailed the minigame absolutely flawlessly and quickly too. And now she's gonna take this checkpoint and do some flips first. I appreciate that very much. And she's gonna run through this room. So this is an immediate gigantic difficulty spike. She is going to be using her barking attack. This game gives you an option to attack enemies with your bark. You have a finite amount of them, and if you die, you lose all of them. But she's mastered this game, and she knows that if you defeat enemies with your bark, then it will restore some health. So she's avoiding some things and attacking some other things to restore health and face tank as she runs through. She's basically just been able to hold forward and go as fast as possible this entire time. We have another room where we're jumping over some obstacles here. And if we don't go fast enough, then Billy is going to deal us some serious hurt, and he's going to be ahead of us already in this kitchen, even though we just passed him. And now he has a vacuum cleaner, and trust me, the fact that he's chasing us with a vacuum cleaner is far more dangerous than the fact this family left all of their 6 Doven stoves on and they all have caught fire. Because if Billy catches up to us, then it's going to be an instant death, and so she has to carefully time some jumps to get around him. And now we're in the final room where we also have to do this while avoiding the obstacles at the same time while trying to go quickly. It's very difficult. This first level, the house, is one of the most difficult parts of the entire run, and this final jump coming up is the toughest part because she's going to try and jump closer to the blocks so that she can have time to land and jump right here. Perfect. That's so difficult. He comes around way faster in that last go, and she did a great house segment, and now we're rewarded by escaping that hellish house by being in the pound. Yay! That's so great. And our main objective here is that we have to free birds from cages. We have to stop in these rooms to do so. And there are lots of new enemies who, of course, want poor Jonah dead. And in every single room that we're going to be freeing a bird, Celine is going to be trying to get to the cage as fast as possible while also trying to avoid the attacks of the enemy dogs. And she did a great jump there to avoid some extra damage. She's getting a bit low on health here, and so she's gonna be, there we go, great job dodging the barks while getting that bird. And she's gonna collect a checkpoint when she gets up these stairs so that if she does take a death, then she'll just be sent right back there. Jonah can enjoy some food as well, thankfully. She actually passed by the checkpoint. She has pure confidence. I love it. And she's jumping as fleas attached to her. And while she's airborne with the fleas attached to her, she's using her bark attack, and that's defeating the fleas and restoring her health. If she landed on the ground while the fleas were still attached to her, it would cause a scratching animation and would cost time. But she's doing an amazing inner pound. So well done. And we freed enough birds. There's an optional one that we can free, but she didn't have to. And so a bird has broken the window and allowed us access to the outer pound. This is a platforming heavy level, and this allows the game to kind of breathe with its mechanics, which are very robust. There are so many different things you can do with Jonah, and they can also experience a ton of jank, but she's doing some precise platforming here and entering a very unforgiving pipe perfectly. This is an awesome outer pound so far, and she's stopping to, that's a checkpoint that she's going to stop to collect. It's unlikely that this final warden guy would actually take her out here as she's barking at the breaker box, but it has happened. Marathon safety for the win. And now we're heading into the end game. She is blazing through this game. None of this is easy. I promise you, this is all very difficult. And this is Forest 1, a very ominous place where she's going to jump over some enemies and bark at some others so that she can have enough health to get through here safely. Perfect, she had just enough, and now we're into the most clench-worthy part of the run. The house section was long and dangerous, but this is a gauntlet. She's going to try to do a very specific route that she has developed to get through this very quickly. And she's going to be landing on the edges of these branches that will bounce her up very high. And she's also trying to avoid so many things. You see those open stumps at the top of the trees? If she lands in one of those, then it will take her really far down and backwards and sometimes outright kill her. So she fell off the branch there, and she's going to be saved by another one, and she's going to be able to just bounce back up and reorient herself. She's done the route amazingly well so far. This has been a very good first half of the Forest 2. If this looks difficult because everything looks exactly the same, yes, it is difficult. And she has reoriented herself. She went backwards there just so actual route that she has memorized. It's so, I can't express to you how nerve-wracking it is to be in Forest 2 and not know where you are, and she's prioritizing that above all else. And now we know we're near the end here because we have these gigantic bees after us. At the end of all of our struggles, at the end of all of Jonah's woes, gigantic bees are now after us and trying to kill us, and she's a little low on health, but she's made it to the final tree. This is it. She's done it, basically. All she has to do is tap it in. She just has to climb up and up and up and up. We're at the end of the game. game, Jonah can finally be at peace with the family that took him to the pound in the first place. But she didn't quite get up to that branch, and she had to do some evasive maneuvers around those bees as they were climbing up to get her. That was a very well done moment there. We're getting close here. All right, time is coming up, and some more branches. She was lower than I thought, but she did it. That's Family Dog in 7 minutes. That is a very difficult run made to look very easy. That's how you do it. Well done, Celine. Oh my goodness. That was a fantastic marathon run. So she stopped to take a checkpoint and had to stop to do the mini game. If she didn't do those things, that would have been close to world record. And the world record is fairly optimized. That is how good the run you just saw was. Well, how are you feeling, Celine?
That was not the best Forest 2 I've ever done, but it's not by far not the worst Forest 2 I've ever done.
Falling down the Forest 2, that's right.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Yeah. I did it in one life. That was the goal I set in here. Like, as long as I didn't die, yeah. Like, I missed some branches at the end there. I kind of fell and lost my way and had to re-find my way. But we did it. We're good.
That was really good. I'm extremely impressed. I'm very honored to have been a part of it. And we did it so fast that you probably have a bit of time that you can express some of your feelings about this game and kind of like the outlook that it's given you on life, that it's kind of a part of for you. And I think it's a great message that we can take with us as we head into the grand finale of this marathon. Before I hand it off to her here, I want to thank you all for everything that you've done to put this marathon on. Great job to Starfy on that last run. Everybody came together to do some amazing work as there were some technical difficulties. That was a legendary marathon moment for me. Everybody did such an amazing job. Thank you all so much for having us. Again, it's such a great privilege and honor and pleasure to be able to be here to witness such a fantastic opening marathon run for Family Dog. And I'll leave that off to you for now, Celine.
Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you to everyone who's put together such a great speedrun marathon here. I will say, everyone's bringing, their personal game that they're speedrunning into this. So why did we choose Family Dog of all things? Why this forgotten, overlooked SNES game based on a cartoon that even I will not defend? The cartoon is way too cynical. But here's the thing. So I didn't know that, like I said, I didn't know the cartoon was that bad. I just knew about the game. And when I was a kid, so we had this game in our little local rental place, and I didn't know, like in Inner Pound, you saw the part, Outer Pound, you saw the part where I jumped into the pipe to get down to where the warden was. So I didn't know that pipe was an interactable object. So every time I rented this game, I'd get to the Outer Pound and then just get stuck because I didn't know where the exit was. I didn't know how you get out. And then time would run out and I'd have to go give the game back. And then we'd rent it again and again. And I rented this game so many times that I probably should have just bought it. But, it's when you're that age, you just keep renting. But like over the time, like I spent so much time with this game that I came to appreciate it. So like, yeah, it's got a reputation. Like it's kind of a jank game based off kind of a unforgivable series, but we all have that one thing. Like take, for example, the movie North. It's a movie starring Elijah Wood. It's an old one. It is considered one of the worst movies ever made. It has an absolutely nuclear, like one of the most scathing reviews Roger Ebert has ever written about anything. My family loves that movie, okay? My sister did a monologue from it for her drama, like, speech class. So, like, everyone's got that one thing that's like, yeah, I know, but you grew up with it, and just for whatever reason, it stuck with you, it hit you, you love it anyway. To me, like, North, I would say North is my sister's Family Dog. Like, that's the term we've used for when something's like, we know someone who Bubsy is their Family Dog, because we've all got that one thing that's like, yeah, I know, but we love it anyway. And I think, yeah, and I think that's beautiful. I really do. I think that Family Dogs are here to be celebrated, and for the fact that it was such a cynical series, the fact that we have taken that and used it to mean, every game you've seen in this marathon, like we're coming towards the end of the event here, but everything you've seen, even the weirdest, like most broken looking stuff, it's someone's Family Dog, and that is worth celebrating. Speaking of which, shout outs to our actual family dogs, Ringo and Munchkin. But yeah, we will leave you for now. I believe that about concludes our set, but I will just leave you with this. Life is too short to spend chasing being cool. Try being warm instead. Take care, everyone, and thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your marathon.